Hi, this is Constance from Mrs. T Weddings, and we've got to December, which means we're so close to the end of lockdown. I'm very, very excited. As much as I'd love doing lockdown lives, I'm also very excited that lockdown's going to be finishing and we can start having some form of normality to our lives. I know that we're all in different restrictions, but still very exciting time. So happy December. I am now ready to decorate the house. We are going to get the tree this weekend, I believe, and the wreath is on its way and feeling very festive in our household. But today we have got a absolutely fantastic cake maker, the stupendous Serena. She has the company Cobi Coco Cakes. She's based in Kent, and I recently worked on a shoot with her. Actually, it was on my birthday in August, and we worked together on the most gorgeous shoot. We're just waiting for it to be published before we can get it out there and tell you all about it. So let me bring Serena in, and she will be telling us all wedding cakes. A very talented lady, I must say. If you saw my photos on Insta this morning, she is very talented, and here she is.
Hello.
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 How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Good. Happy December. Are you feeling
Yeah.
festive?
Yeah, I am actually. I've got
Good.
my decorations up.
I can
The
see
kids
some
are
behind you, I think.
calendars, so yeah, I'm feeling very festive. You've got to get into
I
this.
forgot to open my advent calendar this morning. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be what I do immediately following this. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me. So wonderful to have you here. I was just saying to everyone that we did the shoot in the summer together, and that I posted lots of your gorgeous cakes on my Instagram this morning, and it's getting so much love. I know I've even had one of my brides contact and say, quick, we need to book Serena. So
Thank you.
You know, you're a very, very talented lady, and we're so honoured to have you as part of Sweet 15.
Oh,
so
no, it's my honour, honestly. It's an absolute pleasure.
We adore you. And so what we want to do is learn all about your world, all about cakes, everything. But first of all, my number one question is, where did the name Cobi Coco come from?
Yeah, it comes from both my children's middle names.
Ah.
And so I didn't want to use my own name, and
Yeah.
there's so many names that are already being used. And so what can I use that's quite special to me? It means something to me, but I don't want to use my first name. So Cobi is my son's middle name, and Coco is my daughter's middle name.
I
So
love that.
finally too. So yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. Great choice of middle names. You're very good at naming kids.
Well, I need to get Coco in there somehow.
Yeah, exactly. It's a brilliant name. One of my friends had a daughter, and she named her daughter Constance, and her nickname is Coco. And I'm always like, oh, I'm so jealous. I wish that had been my one.
Oh, that's such a cool name, Constance Coco. That's lovely. It just rhymes.
It's good, isn't it? Right. So tell us, what got you into cakes? How did you start your career with this?
I started, first of all, I've always been creative. I went to art college. I studied textile design at St. Martin's School of Art.
Nice.
And it's just a passion of mine being creative. So after I graduated, I worked as a fashion designer for many years in Hong Kong, London, just being so working for retail, etc.
Yeah.
And my last job, I was a senior designer at an international retail company, heading up a team of designers. Wow. And I loved it, but it was just so stressful.
Yeah.
And when I had my second son, I just thought, it's not what I want. You know, I was traveling a lot. I was going abroad for 2-week trips, going to countries, going to trend shows, and it just got too much.
Yeah.
So I really found a way to my life, thinking what I really want, and decided that's not what I wanted. So I relocated out of London to be closer to my family in Kent. I took my young children. My son was only 1 year old at the time, and 4. My daughter's 4. And I thought, what can I do? I need to be something creative. So I thought that if I'm not doing something creative, I'll lose it. And that's my biggest fear. Like, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
said that to myself, you have to carry on being creative.
Yeah.
And so, but what can I do that I can work from home,
Yeah.
be creative, use my hands, and work around the children?
Yeah.
So then I was looking online and came across a wedding cake designer called Rosalind Miller, and
Okay.
I love her work. You know,
Okay.
she sells just really beautiful contemporary decorative wedding cakes. So I thought I looked into it and I went on a course. I went on a course in London and learned how to stack cakes. And then I started to learn how to make sugar flowers. And I
Which
just
you are incredible at.
thank you, thank you. I just love it because when I used to work at designer, everything was pretty much designed on a computer. So everything
Yeah.
was CAD design. So there to use my hands again, I felt like I was back at college, you know,
Yeah.
working, being creative again. So I absolutely fell in love making
And
sugar
not
flowers.
having the pressure of a big team to manage, not having to do any international travel. You're the boss
Absolutely.
and you
Yep.
decide if you want to accept the wedding or the event, whatever it is, or not, and really own that, which is
Uh,
really powerful. And well, it's
exactly.
lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's exactly what you're doing. It's so true. When you've worked for a retail company and you're under budgets and buyers and merchandisers demand, it
Yeah.
is, you know, it's a real change and it's a
Yeah.
luxury time and like I said, it's a luxury to be your own boss and what
Yeah.
you passionately felt like you want, you know, feel like you want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was thinking, what can I do to allow me to, you know,
Have
develop
that
the process?
freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wedding cakes end up being wedding cakes, and
Brilliant.
I
And so you
love
went
weddings.
straight into weddings. You didn't
Yeah.
start with occasions or anything else. You went straight. So you are the wedding professional.
Oh, well, I did have a lot of friends and family trauma cakes, you know. It's like, do you need a birthday cake? So I did make lots of birthday cakes in the first year, and now it's trial and error. But I've grew up with a family full of chefs, and
Oh,
my
really?
uncles are chefs, so I'm used to being in the kitchen. I'm not afraid for the
Wow.
kitchen. So baking, you know, came quite naturally, and
Yeah.
I actually love experimenting in the kitchen, so I really enjoyed doing that. But I
Yeah.
did make a lot of birthday cakes, so trial and error, trial my recipes. So yeah, that was
Very
the
over the
first
top
year.
birthday
Yeah,
cakes.
yeah. So I'm like, it's birthday.
Yeah.
But then straight into, I knew that it was weddings I wanted to do because
Yeah.
my style generally is quite feminine, it's quite
Yeah.
decorative. I love looking at fashion, I love looking at
Yeah.
materials. And wedding cakes allows me to do that, whilst
Perfect.
birthday cakes are a lot younger generally.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. And so, I mean, let's go back into your style because I think it's very distinctive, your style. Although you do different themes, and I tried to exhibit that in what I posted on Instagram. You're not kind of a one-trick pony. You've got lots of different styles, and you'll always work with your couples. But how would you kind of define your style? How would you, where do you get your inspiration from?
I'll say my style because of the sugar flowers. I'll say my style is
Yeah.
quite feminine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's fashion and trend led. I look at
Yeah.
fashion on the catwalk. I still look at because it's when you've worked with fashion for so long, you can't
Yeah.
help but still be intrigued and see what's
Yeah.
there. And colour and textiles. So I
Yeah.
come from a textile background as well. I love looking at patterns and textiles and graphics.
Yeah.
I try to use new techniques.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by other designers,
Mhm.
but not necessarily in the cake industry, but in my bridal industry. I
Yeah.
know you and I have a little passion, a little
Yeah,
bit
we've got a shared love,
of
haven't
yeah.
we?
We have a share love of Temperley.
Yeah.
I love her work. I love the way
Yeah.
she uses embroidery, the way she uses colour, the way
Yeah.
she uses pattern
Yeah.
and
And
flowers.
texture and everything. And that floral kind of
Mm.
theme is just so beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's using quite traditional techniques like embroidery and
Yeah.
applique, but in such a modern and fashion but feminine way. And
Yeah.
another love of mine is Claire Pettibone. I love
Oh
her work.
yeah.
I
Really
absolutely
lovely.
love it. Again, it's very, very similar sort of style.
Yeah.
But I would say if I was to my work was to represent any kind of bridal design, it's more their sort of kind of style.
Yeah,
I'm very
definitely.
inspired by fashion and trend.
Yeah, definitely. And so that means you're ever going to be evolving. You're not kind of static. You're not just going to always do exactly the same thing. You're going to be moving forward and developing what your style looks like and how it's going to grow and develop, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me excited. I
Yeah.
have to be intrigued. I have to be challenged, and I
Yeah.
think what, as a designer, that's what you should be doing, because that's how you evolve. And
exactly.
I also believe that every couple is unique
Yeah,
to, and every cake should be unique to the couple.
exactly.
So if couples say to me, come to me and say, oh, I like this cake, I'm like, okay, you're inspired by this cake. We could take
Yeah,
inspiration from this cake, but we could adapt it and design it and change it to be so it's personal to you, so it's bespoke for you. So you're not
yeah.
having someone else's cake, because someone's had that. You know, why does
Yeah, nobody wants a
cake?
carbon copy. We've just put a blog
Exactly.
on our post this week actually about not just, how do I make sure that my wedding isn't going to be too similar to everyone else's basically, and how do I make it, unique to us as a couple? And it's by
Exactly.
having those consultations with your suppliers to make sure that they're really hearing what's special about you as a couple, to then exhibit that in the different ways the suppliers are providing something for your wedding day, and for you that would be through the cake. So with the cake, I think, you've got a look, but like you said, you definitely adapt it to the couples. How do the couples work with you? How does the process work from start to finish?
So often the cakes, so couples will see my cakes through either my Instagram, my Facebook, or my
Yeah,
website,
yeah,
and they interested in my style
yeah,
before they contact me. So when they contact me, if they're interested, then generally before pandemic, before we
yeah,
had this problem, I would invite them for a cake consultation. And
yeah,
so they would come with the two of them come, and I have a selection of cake flavors over to taste. So it's
brilliant.
really fun actually. It's a really
Yeah,
fun part of wedding
really
planning.
get to know each other and
Help
have a bit of
yourself
fun.
cake, exactly.
Yeah,
And then they tell me about their wedding flowers, their colours. They talk about maybe how they're made, what's special to them. It could
yeah,
be, and it could be anything. We just have a general chit chat about the weddings and the flowers and the colours. They tell me the styles they like, and
yeah.
then I'll literally sketch them, hand sketch them a cake, and we
Mm-hmm.
bounce
Yeah,
ideas off each other. And what's so good about that is that when I sketch out a design, and then generally they say, "Oh, I love it," but if they, for example, say, "Oh no, I like to try this," or "like to try that,"
mm-hmm.
I could instantly change it. I could just
Yeah,
swap it out and change it straight there and then.
brilliant.
It's a really personal way of getting to know the
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
and getting to understand them, and that helps me design a cake that's bespoke for them.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to old school consultation, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Rather
yeah.
than just kind of firing everything out electronically, but
And
actually being there and getting the kind of sense of, because sometimes I'm sure you get the same as me, a couple are like, yeah, that's not good enough. We need to improve on that. Right.
yes,
What are
yes,
we looking for?
yeah,
And you've got to
exactly.
knuckle them down to what they really want to give
Yeah.
them that wow factor rather than, well, yeah, because they don't know what to say.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because actually, a lot of couples don't know what they want,
They
and for
don't. Yeah.
me, actually, it's actually really good when they
Yeah.
don't know what they want, because they're
Yeah.
open to suggestions. The worst is, I find it harder to work when a couple so distinctively know, I
Yeah.
want this bit from this cake, that bit from that cake, and that bit from that cake, and I want you to put all those bits together, but you know in your
Yeah.
mind that those bits don't
That's
work.
not made
You
to be
know,
together. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So when they're open-minded and they're
Yeah.
willing and they trust your supply, these
Yeah.
couples trust you. They trust your suppliers, and I
Exactly.
find my couples generally are those sort of clients. They trust
Yeah.
me to design them a cake,
Yeah.
and they enjoy it. It's a lovely experience.
It's
Pick
one of the
a cake.
best bits of wedding planning. I
Yeah,
mean, you get to eat
absolutely.
cake and you get to
Yeah,
design something. So
yeah.
what could go wrong with that?
Exactly, and I really enjoy it. I've got to say, it's probably one of my favourite parts as well. I love it
Yeah.
because you get to know them, and like I say, it's like old school. But
Yeah.
obviously, during this pandemic, I haven't been able to do that. I can't
Yeah.
do face. So, but I still like to give couples who are still planning a wedding for 2021, 2022, the opportunity to have ideas and to get
Yeah.
excited about weddings still.
Yeah.
So, what I've been doing is I'll be sending out cake boxes, so cake tasting
Yeah.
boxes, a selection of 6 flavours, a
Brilliant.
selection of what the couples like from a menu.
Yeah.
Then also I get to know them through they tell me, it could be a phone call or an email or message. They send me photos of their flowers, their
Yeah.
colours, just inspiration for me to get an idea
Yeah.
of them, of their style. And then I do on the computer, so I've designed on the computer as well. So I do sketch out quite a few ideas, maybe say 4 or 5 different cake ideas from
Yeah.
how I interpret their style and what I think they like. And then, so this example of like, that's an example
Oh, wow.
design that I'll sketch up for them on the computer. Can you see that? And
Beautiful.
find maybe like
So
5 6
stunning.
variations of a design like that. And then we arrange a Zoom call. So we chat
Yeah.
over Zoom call. For example, if they say, "Oh, I like design A, but I
Yeah.
like flower design B," I can instantly change it on the computer and just email over to it,
Yeah.
or message over to them on Insta or Facebook, and it's instant. It's great,
Yeah.
actually. And they could visually see their design straight away. So I've been
Can
working
they
on
keep the
that during the pandemic.
sketches? Can they
So,
get them? Can they keep the sketches?
oh, yeah, absolutely. Once they confirmed a design,
Yeah.
I put their name. You can see there the
Oh,
name,
yeah.
the venue, and a date, and I
Oh,
send them
lovely.
this sketch. So that's their
Oh,
keepsake. And
amazing.
couples love that. That could be their little keepsake for once
Yeah.
they've eaten all the cake is gone, and it's distant memory. And a lot of couples like looking back at
Yeah.
their planning process, because that's
Exactly.
quite special, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that's for them to keep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that's really important. And I think, for me, I'm like envisaging a wall with, your images, with all of your beautiful designs on, because they're artworks, I mean,
Thank
whether
you.
they're in person or the image, they're absolute artworks. The amount of detail and the beautiful kind of colors that you use and everything, it's just absolutely stunning. So that's a really special thing, I think, for any couple to be able to have that and take it away, because that's not something all designers are able to offer. So we've gone that. So tell us, well, we've done flavour. What's everyone's favourite flavour?
There's a little trend actually going
Yeah.
for alcoholic flavors. So
Oh,
I mean, I do a very popular one is champagne strawberry because
right.
hey, come on, you're celebrating, so why not? But that pina coladas
Oh,
flavors
right.
are coming into fashion in
Yeah.
2021,
Yeah.
but you cannot go wrong, and a lot of people do go for the safer flavors because the one
Yeah.
flavor that everyone loves. So
Yeah.
it is the like cookies and creams and the lemon
Yeah.
was very popular after a
Yeah.
very famous wedding a few years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, you generally get those flavors that are very, very
Yeah.
popular still. No fruit cakes. I hardly ever make fruit cakes now. That's
Yeah.
just gone. It's all sponge flavors
It's
now.
very, it's very kind of old school now, isn't it? It's funny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really not popular, the fruitcake.
No, although I
Um,
actually love eating fruit cake myself, but yeah, I
just
still
have
do
to
it
make them for
myself.
home with the kids.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Brilliant. And so have you noticed, I mean, we are alluding to what's going on. We are in COVID times, things are different and weddings are looking different at the moment. The micro wedding is a thing, and my goodness, it's an incredible thing. But, it's so romantic and wonderful. And it means people can really go to town with the supplies they do book and have something slightly more extravagant or exciting or interesting. But they also want to make sure that it's not completely ridiculous for the number of guests that they've got. So tell me, have you seen any trends? Have you seen any kind of fashions come out over the pandemic with wedding cakes?
Yeah, absolutely. There is. There's definitely a trend towards smaller cakes.
Right. Yeah.
Like you said, before this pandemic, ev every wedding, well, most weddings were almost like a production.
Yeah.
Everything had to be grand, everything had to be big.
So big,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. You
Yeah.
had the cake, you had the flash, you had the photo booth, you had everything, and
Yeah.
magician, everything was included.
Yeah.
But because of the pandemic, everyone's had to, had time to really evaluate their life and see what's important, and reflection of their life and see
Yeah.
who's important.
Yeah.
And obviously, getting married is such an important day of a
Yeah.
couple's life that a lot of couples don't want to wait until they have the big production again, big
No,
wedding. They
exactly.
into
Yeah.
it, and only have the close family and friends that's really important to them to
Yeah.
witness that special moment. And
Yeah.
so wedding cakes is reflected in that, in the sense that a lot of couples are not afraid to go for a 1 tier or 2 tier
Yeah.
wedding cake now, whereas a couple of years ago, last year, it was one unheard of. Everyone
Yeah. You were kind of doing 3, 4, 5 tier, right? Yeah.
minimum 3 or 4 tiers. But
Yeah.
but now you get these little pieces of works of art, because
Yeah.
it's only 1 tier, 2 tier. Couples want it to be special. They want
Yeah.
it to stand out still. So although the presence is not the size,
Yeah.
it's like a jewel, and couples are not afraid to do that now. And
Yeah.
there's so many good designs you can do on a little tiny piece of cake, you know, a one tier or two tier. And it's reflective in the numbers of people then. But
Yeah.
another trend also is to have mini cakes. So rather than having
Ah,
one big cake, maybe
yeah.
individual servings of cake. For instance, it could be um, like a double layer little
Yeah.
round sugar buttercream cake with a flower on top and served as
Beautiful.
a dessert cake.
Yeah.
Or couples are choosing to have cupcakes. For example, I could have little tiny little cupcakes like
Oh,
that, and
sweet.
they could be served as your wedding cake and also as a
Yeah.
favour. It could be two in one, for
Yeah.
example. But there
So
is
you
just
could do kind of, you could still have a single tier and make it very small but
exactly
stunning. And I think
yes.
everyone needs to understand just because it's small, it doesn't mean that you don't get the detail, you don't get the beauty, you don't get the amazingness. It's just compact.
That's right.
Um,
That's
and
right.
then they could potentially have these smaller cakes. And, you know, from a, I mean, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird time, isn't it? Where we're all not touching and we're not near each other
Yeah.
and things like that, where actually an individual cake portion makes it a little bit simpler
Yeah.
of, you know, nobody's touched this. This is just yours.
That's
And
right.
presumably, I mean, do you have the facility for people to get them posted to the friends and family that are watching on Zoom that
You
wouldn't be at the actual wedding?
you absolutely can do. Posted
Yeah.
cakes now, just like our post cake samples, is so
Yeah.
doable. So you
Yeah.
get little boxes now that you can post individual slices of cake, and
Yeah.
once it's
Brilliant.
wrapped up, it's secure. Or
Yeah.
for instance, the cake supplier could actually make portions of individual cake, wrap it up in food safe film, and
Yeah.
post it themselves. So and
Yeah.
put a note on it, so love from Kate's
Yeah.
family, you know, sorry can't be here today. So I could do little
Exactly.
personal notes. There's so many things we can do,
Yeah.
but
I think it's a
most
really nice way that you can still share the celebration
exactly.
without, you know, people necessarily being there. And I, you know, I've spoken to a few couples now that have had the smaller weddings, and you know,
Mm.
the people that have been watching on Zoom have really made an effort and really wanted to be involved. And so I think it's really nice if, as a couple, you can say thank you back to them with something to make them feel still included, without, you know, being able to give them the full invite to the day because you're so
That's right.
restricted.
That's right, and it's
Yeah.
so lovely to do that. I mean, who doesn't like cake in a post?
Exactly.
Seriously.
I mean, no brainer. My front door is very happy to accept cake at any point. And so, have you done any micro weddings? Have you had some?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have. I had a few. One I've done recently actually. It's in Chelsea Old Town Hall, and
Oh,
it
nice.
was it was it was a venue that I really wanted to deliver to, and I've been
Yeah.
talking to the bride and groom for over a year. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
we should have 120 guests,
Yeah.
and then it got cut down to 30, and
Yeah.
then to 15 about 2 or 3 days for the wedding. But
Okay.
the bride, she's an NHS nurse on the front line.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
totally understood, and she is the most positive person I've ever met. She's like,
Great.
no, I'm getting married, you know, nothing's going to stop us.
Yeah.
She understood why it's happening. So,
Yeah.
and so they cut down to 15. So originally their design was a 4 tier cake, and I
Yeah.
just adapted the design to a 2 tier. And
Yeah.
they had the most intimate, fun, special day.
Oh,
And they
lovely.
just go a big party next year when they can.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
sequel's a big
celebration.
thing. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think Chelsea Town Hall is the perfect place. If you're having, you know, registry office, smaller, intimate wedding, Chelsea Town Hall is
yeah,
exceptional.
yeah.
And really get those kind of Bianca Jagger vibes kind
Oh
of going.
gosh, definitely, definitely, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, oh wow, what a wonderful day, and congratulations to that couple. I hope that they also really enjoyed the cake.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me, I mean, that's obviously a really amazing venue. Tell me about some of the other venues that you really enjoy working at and why they're special.
Oh, there's so many venues that
Yeah,
are so special. I delivered a few at Fritz of the Waldorf, which is
yeah,
absolutely beautiful. The building is just it's so gorgeous inside where they
mhm,
get married. It's like a massive indoor orangery, which I
yeah,
love. It's one of the most gorgeous venues. I've delivered some nice venues, like in Kent. Kent is surrounded, to be honest, with gorgeous venues. We're so lucky. We've got Hever Castle, we've got Leeds Castle, we've got Hayne House, we've got the Orangery, we've got so many, Old Kent Barn, so many fantastic venues. But London's got obviously spectacular weddings venues. Another one I've developed, the Grosvenor House, which is pretty spectacular. That's spectacular. Head to House I've done, and I've got another one next year at Kew Gardens, which I'm really
nice.
I love flowers. I love going to Kew Gardens. I love going to Chelsea flower shows. So that's a dream venue for me. Yeah. So I'm really
that's going to be beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to see the photos. You've got to share them. Send them to me on WhatsApp if you can't put them publicly.
I post them. I'm at Kew Gardens. Look I'm posting. Don't worry.
That'll be your next Instagram live. This is your first Instagram live. Nobody knows this, so we've got to give you a huge congrats. You're doing very well.
Thank you.
So
Thank
your next one at Kew Gardens, walking around showing us all. So, I mean, your cakes are hugely detailed, and I'm not sure whether the photos really, you know, a lot of people have flowers on cakes, right? So that's a thing, but the detail that you go to is exceptional. Like, I couldn't believe they were real when I saw these cakes that arrived, and it was just, I mean, they were just spectacular. The sugar work is just unbelievable. How long does it take you to actually make the cake? You know, like to go from starting, you know, the cake mixture right through to delivery, you know, what is that kind of period?
Yeah, so it's the decorations that take time consuming. So it's the sugar flowers that do take a long time, but luckily sugar flowers can be made in advance.
Right.
So for example, in the summer I go lots and lots of wedding cakes. And so I would make the sugar flowers in advance of that, and have them stored away in a box. So when I actually come to make the cake, I'm not stressing out about the sugar flowers. But the sugar flowers could easily take me a week, a few days to make for one.
To do all the flowers for one cake.
One cake,
Wow.
But for the cake itself, it's a process. So you bake one day, then you let it rest, and let's say you ganache, and I coat my cakes in chocolate ganache. It's got a big layer of chocolate cake, chocolate around it, and then you layer it, and then you decorate it. So every process is split into different days. So it's I usually allow about 4 days.
It's a big process then.
Absolutely, So if you
when you've already spent a week in advance doing the sugar flowers, that's incredible.
That's it. People don't realise that the time involved, and that's why some wedding cakes can be quite expensive. The more and the decorations reflected in the price. Obviously, the more decorations, the more sugar flowers you have, the more costly the cake will be. Obviously, the cake or the more minimal the design is, obviously be reflected in the price.
And you always go and deliver them yourself, do you?
Yes, I do. I have not let anyone deliver it. I've been so nervous because I get nervous driving at 20 miles an hour. You know, I'm so slow.
I would never ever want to drive one of your cakes somewhere.
No, I don't think I'll get anyone who take this job on. My husband definitely won't do it. You know, so he's like, no, you're on your own. So I've got a big sign, cake on board.
Oh, do you? I love that.
I'm really slow.
That's so funny. And then when you get there, so you'll get there in advance of the wedding in the morning, presumably, and you'll set everything up, and you'll make sure that the caterers understand where, you know, how to move it and things, so they can then take it away to cut it and things after the big cutting. Do you provide things like stands, or do
I do.
I
have a stand to hire, so I have quite a few different cake stands that the couples hire. And I always believe that, you know, it's like women wearing a lovely dress and they put high heels on. It just elevates the look, you know, and I believe that with cakes as well. I love pedestal cake stands, and I have quite a few different ones that the couples could choose to hire, and then it just lifts the cake up. And when you think about when you take photos standing next to the cake, you're standing behind it or to the side of it. When the cake is lifted, it just looks so much nicer in the photos as well.
I love that analogy. I've never thought of it as, you know, a cake wearing its stilettos, but from now on, that's going to be my little tagline. We need to get your cake into its Louboutins.
Of course.
Oh, fabulous. And So you kind of been doing this for a while. You're based in Kent. How far out do you go with cakes? You know, you're not doing them internationally or anything like that. You're in the UK, but how far out do you cover?
I cover obviously I cover all of Kent, Essex, Surrey, Sussex, and London. And
Yeah,
to be honest, I'll go further afield if
yeah,
if I have any inquiries, and it's just a delivery, so I just do delivery
yeah.
charge. Unfortunately,
Brilliant.
I had an inquiry from Canada
Oh,
last week
wow.
actually, but she said to me, "Do you do international delivery?" And I went, no, I haven't quite worked it out yet. But no, so I can't do
I don't think the
international, but
sugar
I'm
flowers
sure there
can
must
deal
be a
with
way
Canada.
somehow. So yeah, maybe future, but at the moment, no, just UK. But it's anywhere that I could drive in a car, really, that I could do within a
Yeah.
few hours. So I've delivered a cake to Nottingham once, but that was for a special friend. So that's the
Okay.
first I delivered for. So yeah.
20 miles an hour to
Yeah,
Nottingham. That is a long
yeah,
journey.
yeah. I was so nervous, but
The
yeah, and it's
M1
all
never
roped up as
ended.
well. Yeah.
And so you're still making cakes, and presumably you've pivoted slightly during lockdown, doing a few different options for different people, but getting back onto the micro wedding track now. Starting to get inquiries for next year, year after,
Yeah.
presumably.
Well, next year is jam packed, and I
Is
think in
it?
the wedding industry, most
Yeah,
people, because unfortunately we've had to postpone so many weddings from
yeah,
2020 to 2021. So 2021 is pretty much gone. It's
yeah,
full. But I'm getting inquiries for 2022, and I
yeah,
think any couples out there who want to get married, start planning. You
yeah.
know, it sounds like a long way away, but it's actually not.
It's not. It's 18 months now.
No,
Yeah,
it's not that long way. And I would always say to suppliers, to couples
yeah,
who plan the wedding, the first thing to do is just get your date in the supplier's diary. Because a lot of suppliers, like myself, can only take a handful on.
yeah,
So I don't take that much on during the week, maybe two, three wedding cakes a week. So once
yeah,
those dates are gone, it's gone.
yeah,
And so we could talk about detail much further on
yeah,
down the line, when we can meet for a cake consultation. We could
yeah,
talk about detail. You don't need to know what you want at that stage.
no.
Just get your date and diary, so you could do that with a deposit, and then it's done. But
I think that's
20,
so true. So many couples freak out that they need to know
yeah,
everything when they
yeah,
book a
you
supplier. And it's
don't.
like, no, if you like
Yeah,
the style of the supplier and they work
exactly.
with the budget you're
Yeah,
looking at, let's
yeah.
get the date booked. And, you know, I say that to my couples, let's get that
Mm,
date booked with that supplier, and then
mm.
we'll figure it out nearer the time. Because to be honest, for you, for example, we need to know what the dress looks like. We need to
Yes,
know what the bridesmaids are
yes,
wearing. We need to know what the
absolutely.
flowers are.
Yeah.
And we need to know what tableware we're going to be using before we come to you, really, because only then do we really know the colour scheme and the style of flowers that we're going to be looking at.
You're absolutely right. Because like couples want their wedding cake to complement their wedding style.
Exactly.
To echo the vibe of the setting.
Yeah.
And to come to me 2 years say, I want this design, but your ideas might change.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. So I say to my couples, don't come to me until like for a cake consultation until
Yeah.
you have your flowers confirmed. You don't need them set. You don't, for instance, florists, they might not know what's in
Yeah.
season time or what I can get.
What's
Just
available.
give me a rough idea. I don't need
Yeah.
this flower. That can be sent to me a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
a month in advance. But at the time, for instance, if you wanted a blush pink, if you
Yeah.
wanted ivory, just give me a rough idea, and
Yeah.
that's enough for me to work from at this stage. But yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. You just need to get the supplier's
mm,
date in your diary, and then you can figure it out after that.
yeah,
Because as you say, all suppliers are getting so booked up.
yeah,
And, for yourself, you can't do multiple weddings on the same
mm,
day because you're delivering them.
yeah,
Unless they're very near to each other, the
mm,
venues, presumably. But in general, you're going to be pretty restricted in how many you can do because you've got such a
you're absolutely right.
personalized service.
That's right.
So it is really important that couples understand that. So I think, huge thank you for your time. But the final thing that we must talk about is your huge win.
Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so
So
much.
on Saturday, it was the regional wedding industry awards, and you won cake maker for the Southeast. Is that
Southeast,
right? Yeah.
yes, right. So yeah, so
So that
I'm
means you now go into the national awards.
yes, Yes, which is announced in January.
Is it
So
January?
yeah,
Okay.
so January. So over Christmas, I'll be like, ooh.
And I
I'm gonna
do
try
believe,
not to remember it. I'm gonna try to get that in my mind. And so
yeah,
just
you need to
enjoy
just
Christmas.
let it
Yeah,
go. You've got no
yeah,
control over it. Just let
that's
it
right.
go. It'll be what it
Yeah,
is. But
yeah.
you've won locally, and southeast of England is your target region, and you've won that. So that's the absolute dream. And another huge excitement for me was that I believe you submitted the photos from our shoot for it as well.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Absolutely. I love the shoot. I've got
I
to say,
know.
the shoot we did together, it's probably one of my favorites.
It's a
It's
dream, isn't it?
it was absolutely the dream. Everyone involved, getting to know you, the design, the wedding dress, the flower, everything.
Yeah.
I just loved everything about it. But I
Yeah.
would say that the cakes I designed for that shoot really represents me, really
Yeah.
represents my style. So, and I love the fact that you said to me, right, the colours are like this, we're having this, do what you want.
Yeah.
Go design. And I love that because you let me
Yeah.
be creative, and
Yeah.
I'm doing a shoot and I want a cake like this, and that's, I'm not just
That's got a place, but I think, for me, the whole point of a styled shoot is to exhibit the creativity that all of these
exactly
suppliers that are coming together have got. And, the point for me is making sure that I coordinate the right suppliers together, that they'll complement one another when they do come together, each exhibiting their own personalities. And I think that shoot was just magical. It was the
oh,
hottest day in the world. It was
oh God,
horrific.
yeah, yeah.
We're all there with our fans and kind of dripping in sweat, I'll be honest, all
Can I
day.
just say that it was all there with fans that Constant supplied?
I do.
Seriously, Constant supplied us all with these beautiful paper flags, which I took home and I still have. Nobody does that. It's such a lovely detail. So thank you. It
No, we had
really
a brilliant
saved
day,
us.
and it was the best birthday ever. So
Yeah.
it was so much fun, and I can't wait to be able to show everyone those photos. I think they're coming out in Rock My Wedding in February, so a few more months until we can
Yeah.
show everybody, but we're almost there, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful shoot. And after the you've had, I'd like to say some beautiful colours in that shoot. And we need some
Mm.
colour. We need
Yeah,
some colour. We need some vibrancy. And that shoot shows all that. And I got
yeah,
it's one of the happiest shoots I've been on. No, I loved it.
yeah.
I can't wait to see that. I got my
That's what we
wedding.
want. We want to send out positive vibes. We want
Yeah,
everyone to feel upbeat. Yeah,
yeah,
things might not be what we're used to. There might be horrible things going on around us, but if we've got control of our mindset, let's
yeah.
go for positivity and seeing, looking at the opportunities of what we can do rather than what we can't do. And
Absolutely.
I think that's really important. That's the whole ethos of Sweet 15 as well. Getting, and it's only having suppliers on board like yourself that are positive, proactive, saying, right, I can't do a 4 or 5 tier cake like I would normally, but what I can do is give you the best 2 tier you've ever seen in the whole of your life.
Exactly. That's the right exactly that's the right attitude. Because couples, they still have a budget.
Yeah.
They don't change the budget. They don't reduce the budget. Instead, they just want the most fantastic wedding,
Yeah.
so they can spend the money on the little details, and maybe rather than have, like you said, rather than having a 4 tier, have a really spectacular 2 tier, but maybe have individual cakes as well, or have a
Yeah.
special cake favor. Just extra detail that makes it
Yeah.
just really memorable for their guests.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're right. Mm.
Yeah. It's about making it the most exquisite dinner
Yeah,
party you've ever
yeah,
had in the whole of your life.
exactly. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I
And
love
we'll all
that.
be
It's a
wearing
dinner
temporary
party. Yeah.
dresses as well.
Well, why not? Have a few changes.
Fabulous. Well, look, thank you so much for your time today, Serena. You're
Thank
an
you.
absolute diamond. I adore talking to you.
Oh,
And congratulations on your award. So well deserved.
thank you so
Oh,
much.
just quickly tell everyone how they can get in touch with you if they want to get in touch directly.
Yep. So if you look at my website, it's www.cobiandcoco.com,
Mm-hmm.
and on there you can find a contact page, or you can email me at contact@cobiandcoco.com, or my Facebook or Instagram pages. So just ping me a message, and yeah,
And it's you on the other side. You don't have anyone looking after your social media.
no,
It's all
all
you.
me. Yeah,
Yeah,
all me. So
brilliant.
there's no Cobi and Coco, it's just Serena really. So, so yeah, it's all me. So
You
I
won't get the kids.
myself. No, kids are not involved. They're not interested at all. They don't even eat my cake anymore. They're so sick of cake.
Oh
So
no.
yeah,
That's
so
kind of
it's not
sad.
me. Yes, maybe once the couples have confirmed their wedding venue, their wedding date,
Yeah.
it's not too early to get in, to
Get the date booked.
Exactly, definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you
I
so
will
much.
see you soon.
Thank you.
Take
care.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.